Hello, I'm Kevin Lentz with French Grocery, and it's Wine Wednesday again. So last week we talked about some delicious red wines, and my plan was to do it again this week about Bordeaux. But just the thought of Bordeaux Rouge right now is making me sweat even more. It's awful out there if you're in Phoenix. It's going to be for a little while longer. So I want to talk about really, really refreshing white wine that goes great with a really broad spectrum of food, so that you can use these as standby reliable wine choices all summer long. So today we're focusing on Sauvignon Blanc. So in general, Sauvignon Blanc is racy and acidic. It can have sort of fresh garden notes, bell pepper, even jalapeno, especially from places like New Zealand, tomato vine. You can get orange peel and citrus zest. Those are certainly some of my favorites. The lesser stuff, the stuff that we're not going to be showing today, might have sort of canned asparagus, even canned vegetable notes. Anyway, we're only talking about the good stuff. So we're going to start in the Loire Valley with Sancerre. It's one of my favorites. You've heard me talk about it before when we talked about Loire Valley whites. Sancerre, right next door to Puy-Fumé. As far as I'm concerned, they taste practically the same. What's interesting about the terroir here, we have lots of great limestone, a lot of this sort of clay and seashell fossil material. And we see that in places like Chablis. We see that in a lot of the great white wine regions of the world. These are clean. They generally don't have maloactive fermentation, and they're almost always fermented in stainless steel. So we're talking about razor sharp, wonderful acidity, will cut through all kinds of different flavors. They pair really, really nicely with the local goat cheese of the region, which I've had trouble pairing a lot of goat cheeses with, especially Chèvre, the fresher kind, with red wines. A lot of times it just is still left chalky. Well, this is a great pairing for a lot of cheeses. Look up the Loire Valley region cheeses. We carry a few of them here. This Sancerre is from one of my favorite producers. This is Paul Prieur, and it runs about $23, $24 on the shelf. It's been one of our most popular Sancerres for a long time now. Next door to it here, I have what I would call a baby Sancerre, Passion Cotat Caillou, or I should say Passion Cotat Le Grand Caillou. They make a Sancerre. This is just simply says Sauvignon Blanc on the label, so it doesn't come from the appellation of Sancerre. It could be declassified vines, or fruit that comes just from outside of that appellation. But this is only $14. It is quaffable. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this wine. You can drink this all summer long. And everything I said about the wine pairing natures of the Sancerre, you can think right here as well. May not have some of the pedigree, some of the finer elements of citrus blossom and orange peel and things might not come through, but you definitely get that unmistakable Sauvignon Blanc tone. And then we can't leave out white Bordeaux either, from Graville-Lacoste. This is from Graves, which is a terrific region. It's probably one of the biggest white producing regions in Bordeaux. And Bordeaux doesn't make much white wine. The region's called Graves because it's literally covered in gravel, very stony soil here. This wine is actually a majority Semillon, but Sauvignon Blanc is indispensable in Bordeaux because it can help lighten up that sort of honeyed, heavy weightiness that you get in a Semillon, and lighten it up. Buttered pasta, chicken, shellfish even. I think this would go great even with oysters and mussels and clams and all of that stuff. Lightly grilled foods, pork. I don't think there's really anything that you couldn't pair with these wines if you were looking for a white wine. Next week we're going to talk about Riesling. And I'm going to explain some of the virtues of Riesling. I find that among my customers, it might be one of the least appreciated varietals, but amongst wine professionals, it's definitely maybe the most popular. And it's also really refreshing and perfect in the summertime. So stay tuned. We'll see you back here next week, and keep cool, please.